Everybody, Chris and PJ here live in the Dream Giveaway Garage.
Happy Tuesday, sir.
Happy Tuesday, and we're 7 days away from next Tuesday. I know, shocking news, right? But here's why I'm pointing that out, because we've got 7 days left for you guys to enter to win the Hurst package. That's a GMC Denali truck with that tailgate pro that I'm looking at right there with the Hurst graphics. One of one. Only one made, and it's really tough to get a Hurst vehicle built. We had to go all the way to our buddies at Holly and to really wine and dine them, and before you knew it, they said, okay, we love the idea. And we're so happy that Holly,
super happy about this.
Holly owns the Hurst brand. I think that's how it is, or they have control over the Hurst licensing.
And this is the only one in the world, right?
Right. And you go, what's a Hurst? And you have to think about George Hurst. It was his last name. You guys know this already. And back in the day, George Hurst would show up at a drag strip, and not just with a Oldsmobile. He'd show up with a Pontiac. He'd show up with a Hemi car. Anything that he could get that Hurst product into and show off his products at the drag strip, so that people would go to their, where would you buy the parts back in the day? A Western Auto. So people would go to the Western Auto and say, I want one of those his Hurst shifters. Couldn't get them on the internet way back when. And you couldn't get a Hurst convertible in 1969 from Hurst, because they were only for promotional use. There were 3 of them made. I've told you this story many times. 2, one for the West Coast, 1 for the East Coast. 1 was destroyed in a fire, and a 3rd one replaced it. And there's a shot, there's some vintage shots right there of the 69 Hurst Olds having a dandy time going down not only drag strips, but on road courses as well. We talked about the difference between the T-handle. If the car had the T-handle on the parade car, then it was a drag strip, and if it had the white shifter ball, then it was a road course. I think I got that right. So 7 days left, and we're going to go ahead and we're going to sit in the Hurst Olds, and we're going to kind of get a feel for that old school vibe that's going on there. Really is fun. Before we do that, I've got to do my favorite part of all this. I'm going to mention to you, these are hand-painted stripes and decals. I've never seen such meticulous work.
It's a steady hand for sure.
Oh yeah. Okay, let's see.
It's nice and quiet in the garage, so it works out perfect today. Good stuff.
5 minutes later. Oh, wow. Okay, I'll go ahead and get inside.
I'll get in on the other side here for you,
Okay.
Chris, so we can see what's going on. First off, I love the carpeting here.
I love the gold carpet as well. PJ, sit in here so that we can show some things. And PJ, tell me what you're going to put on screen first, and then I'm going to talk about that.
Oh yeah, well, we've got a couple of questions here first. Alan says, I had a Hurst shifter in my 54 Chevy Bel Air, 2-door sedan with chrome deep dish rims and baby moon hubs.
Yeah, man, that's old school.
Yeah, Monty says, I love the Hurst, but that Denali is something else.
And that's right, you can drive the Denali every day. You'll never lose it in a Home Depot parking lot, will you?
Kathy says, I love the dual gauge shifter. Very cool. We'll talk about that here in a second.
We'll talk about that in a moment. That's correct. I better have the key in if I'm going to kind of demonstrate how that works.
Roger says, I thought your favorite part of this thing was the hood. Oh, that is a heavy hood. Unlike anything else.
A-body hoods are heavy as they are. Chevelle GTO 442. You put that extra piece, that scoop insert in there, and it makes it even heavier.
Yeah, you can see it from here. I mean, it just looks heavy right there.
You know, maybe when I was 15 it didn't feel heavy, but it feels heavy to me, guys.
Rex says, Olds, I can smell that car. It's true.
What a wonderful car.
Instead of that new car smell, you can get that old car smell.
and it's great. And this car, and I've told you before, to me, this is like getting in a brand new car. It's better than a brand new car. The paint's way better than a brand new car.
Well, a new car sitting on the showroom floor
Right.
would have certainly had some photos, that would
Right.
show
Right.
off,
So
showcase
imagine that photo right there. You're in an Oldsmobile dealership, and somehow you talk George Hurst and Linda Vaughn into letting you buy what the public couldn't buy, a '69 Hurst Olds convertible. And you're walking around that showroom, and the salesman has his checkered shoes on, and he's smoking a Lucky Strike, and he's checking you out to see if you've got enough jack to go ahead and put a down payment on this car. Remember, these things were $5,000 out the door on a hardtop, probably even more on a convertible. This is Cadillac money for 1969. And before you know it, he says, okay, I think this guy can afford this. And he lets you sit in it, and that's what you see right there. You see the steering wheel right in front of you. You see the dual gate right down there next to it. And you're like, it's got an 8-track? Wow.
It does have an 8-track.
Yeah. Look at that. And you go out to, your whatever you're driving, your Impala station wagon, which has an 8-track in it. You go, can I put my 8-track tape in this Hurst Olds convertible? And he looks at the 8-track tape and he goes, the Grassroots. Yeah, man, that's 69. You can go ahead and put that on in there, and you put it in, and then you turn up the tunes, and you're sitting there. You haven't even fired it up yet, right? Sitting in it, and you say, man, this car is so incredible. And he knows you want to buy it, and you buy it. Well, a whole lot easier now, because you couldn't buy one of these back in 1969. But you've only got 7 days left to enter. PJ?
Kathy says, did I see the window knob is even gold colored? And I'll
Oh, yeah. Well, that's
right
standard.
Right
that's
there.
not a special color. That's a standard color for a 1969 on a window crank for General Motors and the A-body line. So that's correct as well. There's that dual gate right there. I'm not going to fire her up, but I will go ahead and get this.
Tell me about
here.
this dual gate shift.
So remember, the dual gate, this side is for cruising. So you come on down here, and you see this indent?
Yep.
Or detent, I think they call it. So you just come right down to there, and that puts you in drive. But there's two other gears. There's a low gear, and there's a second low gear. And so in order to access those, okay, then you come on over here, and you slap shift, right? There's one. I think I missed one. There's 1, 2, 3. And then you come back over to drive if you just want to cruise. So this is for speed
Oh, because
shifting.
I see the 3 and the 2 and the 1.
Yeah, the 3, the 2, and the 1. So this is called a his and hers shifter. It's not a General Motors product. It's a Hurst product. And you can see right here that if it feels, think of a Cutlass. Think of the Cutlass station wagon or the Impala station wagon. You'd have the column shift up here.
But you wouldn't drive it like you would today, a standard, right? A column shift. You wouldn't just keep shifting like crazy on the column. would you?
Well, I've seen guys do it, but no, you're honest. You just put it in drive and go. So down here you can have a little bit more action. You can chirp those rear tires a little bit more. And again, you low second to drive. Now with AC, this is not a numerically high gear. It's not a 410 gear car. It's probably a 308, so that you can really enjoy some highway cruising on it. But if you want to get up from that stoplight, then you would take it over here from wherever you're at. Let's say you're in neutral, then come on down here, and then you jump it here, and then you just put it back into regular cruise, right?
So
And
unlike
enjoy
having
it.
a clutch that would then move you from one gear to the next, you're kind of just literally doing it without a clutch, right?
Correct. Yeah, you're moving the automatic transmission gears. A Turbo 400 has 3 forward gears, a low, a second, and a drive.
And now some of these, like PDK, 10 speed, I mean, we're talking some crazy changes.
Well, we're talking 50 years later, and the technology in the dual clutch trannies and the 10-speed trannies that are in the Ford products now. But back in the day, Ford with the C6, that would be a 3-speed. Dodge with the 727, that would be a 3-speed. So the 3-speed automatic was pretty much what you were seeing coming from all of the OEs back in that day.
When did you jump from 3 to 4?
Ooh, or 80s, right?
Really?
Maybe 80, when 3rd gen Camaro and Firebird came out, and you finally started to see that overdrive. That would be 3 forward and then an overdrive gear. So it would be a 700R4, which would be 4 forward gears, 3 plus the overdrive. So early 80s.
Okay, so we're in a convertible, Chris.
In a convertible.
Roger says maybe go for the power assist hood in the front, but
it is that heavy a hood, but we've said that enough times. Other great features on this car, AM, FM. How do you get that? How do you get AM, FM, and the 8-track player?
Well, Rick wants to know, what would you be playing on the radio?
Oh, me? In 69, or if I had it in the 70s? If it was in the 70s, I'd have Thin Lizzy on. If I was listening to it in 69, I'd have Abbey Road on from the Beatles. There you go.
Mike says, what 8-track do you want me to bring after you make the call?
You can bring Thin Lizzy or you can bring Abbey Road, okay? You got either of those available. You got the Hurst emblem over there on the glove box door. You've got some lamp lights going on here. They're on because PJ's door is open there as well. And then, of course, here you can hear, I've got this latch, so I'm just letting you see that this is where the power top mechanism is for the convertible top. Over here, tilt wheel. How useful is that? And that's an extra cost option as well in 1969. No, it doesn't go meep meep. It goes regular GM. Have I ever told you guys how they do horns? There's 2 different notes, right?
I didn't know that.
Yeah, I got to remember what they are. One's like, I don't know. I got to look it up. But that's what gives it that horn tone. If someone knows what those 2 notes are in the do, re, mi scale, let me know. I forgot what they were.
Interesting.
Down here, signed by Miss Hurst herself, Linda Vaughn. You saw some photos of her earlier, some vintage photos, and a car model in here as well from the 69 Hurst Olds Coupe.
That's pretty wild that you actually have that.
So all this, and you guys can't really see this, but here.
We'll bring that out.
Yeah, we'll bring it out another day. We got like a hero card, big hero card, so when you take it to car shows, it tells you all about it and how many of the hardtops were made, so on.
And that is a cover for when this entire top is down.
That's the boot cover. That's correct, for when the top is down. Looks kind of messy there, but it looks great when it's installed.
Kathy says A and F, she thinks. Tone notes A and F.
A and F.
Yep.
Kathy, thank you for that. Well, very good. Now I got to think about the key of F and then A. So whole, half, whole, half. If you guys play the piano, you know what I'm doing.
And then down at the now you have your 2 pedals.
2 pedals,
And
correct.
you still got the little switch over there.
Correct.
We always talk about that.
PJ doesn't know what the switch is. He does. I'm kidding him. Those are for your bright lights, PJ.
Yeah.
You click it to put your high beams on and to turn your high beams off. Like here. See? And then can you see it there? It tells you.
Oh, I knew.
Yeah, right there. So high beam on. Come on. There we go, high beam off.
Oh, good deal.
Just like a new car, I had to push it hard. Nice little sound system in here. Of course, the Pioneer sound system would not have been in it in 1969, so that is a nice little addition and help you enjoy your 8 tracks as well.
Now, Larry says 420 to 440 hertz and 340 to 370 hertz, approximately G sharp 4, A4, and F4 through F sharp 4.
Okay. Well, I see.
Nice job, Larry.
It's nice job, Larry. It's kind of technical. You go, oh, it's just a horn sound. It's not. There's science and engineering behind that actual sound.
Yeah.
And Larry, thanks for sharing that with everybody.
That's crazy. And Roger says F and F sharp. So for the horn, yeah. So
F and F sharp.
You're dealing with a lot going on with that horn. It's not just to put a sound up there, I guess.
That's right. And old horns, from classic vintage cars, they sound so much better than the horns in these cars that they're making today, don't they? They sound more dominant,
Yeah.
right?
Newer horns are like a tin can or something.
Yeah,
like that.
newer horns are like a tin can.
Yeah.
What a great car. Mint, 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 mint. Did I say it was mint? I'm not supposed to say anything is mint. So it's near mint, near mint, near mint.
It's
near
definitely showroom ready.
Mint. Oh, it's showroom ready every day. You'll be so proud. You got 7 days left to enter. You got to enter by midnight a week from today. That'll be Pacific Daylight Time on whatever a week from today is.
Good deal.
All right? We'll see you guys tomorrow. More great fun, more great action, more great grand prizes, but this is one of the greatest. 1969 Hurst Olds convertible, never available to the public because they were only available for promotional use. So this one is done up to have all the right stuff. We'll see you guys tomorrow in our favorite place on earth, the Dream Giveaway Garage. Let's hear that F sharp again.